Hey, what's up? This is Matt Dietz, and this is Agency Launch. This is the show where I tell you what it's like to run an insurance agency. So we talk about sales and marketing, and staffing and retention, and everything that I've learned in 19 years of running an agency. Hey, I got something free for you today. Hey, are you getting yelled at by your clients a little bit more than you're used to? Like, we're in a pretty heavy rate cycle, right? Where we're taking a lot of rates. So I'm going to give you a letter that you can email to your clients. It's one that I've written myself. It's one that I'm using in my agency, and it's getting a really nice response from my clients. This letter shows why they bought from you. So do me a favor and send me a text, 208-213-8809, and write the word email, and I will send you a link to this letter. All right, there you go. On with the show. All right, I got something for you today. I got another feather to put in your cap. I got another tool to put in your toolbox. I wanted to introduce you to Brightco. Brightco is an online jewelry insurance carrier, and they are making your life easier and your customers' lives easier. How? Well, quoting is super easy. You can do a quote in like 2 minutes by answering 6 questions. All their policies are backed by an AM Best A+ rated insurance carrier. Renewals are automatic. Claims will not be reported on a Clue report. That is huge. Their plans offer $0 deductibles. They have 125% replacement cost value. They cover mysterious disappearance. It's everything you want in your jewelry coverage. So do me a favor. If you want to get appointed or check them out, go to bright.co/Matt Dietz. That's bright.co/MATTDIETZ and get in. Hey, what's up? All right. I was asked a question by one of the folks that I coached last week that I thought was good to bring to you. He hit me up and he was like, "Hey, Matt, I'm working 42 hours a week. I feel like I should be working more. What do you think about that?" This is a good question. I also had another conversation that I guess I'll bring this in too, but with another person that I'm coaching. He's like, I'm now working 25 hours a week, 25 to 30 hours a week now that I've been working with you, Matt. I used to be working, 40 or so. That made me feel good that we were able to cut his time down. The question is, how many hours a week should you be working? There's not an answer to that question. Okay. How many hours should you be working? I know when I started early, I worked long hours. I was a scratch agent, and I wasn't getting paid unless I was writing business. I had to generate as much activity as I could for a long time. I was working 7:30 to 6 regularly. I never worked weekends though, ever. Okay. I never wanted to. That's the one thing about running your own business, right? If you don't want to do something, you don't have to do it. Would I have done it if I was desperate? Of course, right? But the first agent that I mentioned, I asked him, "Why do you feel like you need to be working more hours?" And he said that he has some peers of his that are writing more business than he is, and he feels like he's not doing enough. He's doing really well. Let's put it that way. He's writing a lot of business, but he's also coming up upon something where he's on a program with my company where you get a bump in commissions in your first year, and it's generous. That bump lowers after the first year, and he's kind of staring down the barrel. He's been used to making a certain amount of money. If he produces the same this year as he did last year for new business, he's not going to make as much in new business, but he's going to be making renewals. That's kind of how that program is designed, right? So I asked him, "Why do you want to work? Why do you think you should be working more hours?" And he said, "Well, because some of my peers are doing this." And I was like, "Well, why do you care about that?" And he's like, "Well, I just want to give him something to think about." He goes, "Well, if I'm working a few more hours a day," and he's like, "I do have some debt, that I want to pay off." And I said, "Look, man, this is a personal decision for you. Okay. He's got a young family, babies at home. and a wife. And he said, well, if I work 2 more hours a day, that's 10 more hours a week. And I said, that's fine. I said, but if you want to do that, you better make sure that that 2 hours a day doesn't just lead to downtime during the day. Okay. Now, working 10 full focused hours in a day is really hard. Some people can do it. Most can't. Okay. I would say if you're going to work 10 hours in a day, you're probably going to do as much work as you would if you worked 8. Okay. You will. You'll fill that time. You'll waste 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. You'll take a longer lunch. You'll just have some elbow room to rest a little bit to take these micro rests during the day. There's nothing wrong with that, I suppose. But if you're going to work longer hours, then you better produce more, or else what are you doing? Okay. Then if you're not going to produce any more, then work the 8. Okay. We will do the amount of work in the allotted time given. All right. That is like a law of nature. If I gave you a task and you had to do it by the end of the week, you would do it on Thursday or Friday. If I told you it had to be done by the end of today, you would do it today. Okay. I mean, that's the way that works. If he's going to work 2 more hours a day, they have to be produced. They have to be in a way for him to produce more. Okay. The other agent I mentioned earlier is kind of doing what I just mentioned. He's super focused when he's working, like hyper focused when he's working. He's doing the activity that's generating income, and he's working 25 hours a week, and he's making 2 to 3 times as much as he was last year. That is how you do it, people. Okay. Now, if he wanted to add on a couple more hours, he could probably make more money because he's only working 25 hours a week. How many hours should you work in a day? It's up to you. It's really up to you. My ask is that the time that you have working, you're being productive. You're not wasting your time. You're building your business. You're building your team. You're training your team. You are reaching out to your client. What you're doing should, especially if you're newer and you are growing a book of business and you're maybe scratch or you don't have many clients, like this is green lights and blue skies for you to just be marketing and quoting. Okay. Once you're a little more seasoned, you've got a book and referrals start coming in, when you're building your business in different ways, your role is going to change. There will be years maybe that you do work 50 to 60 hours a week because you've got some other stuff going on. Maybe there's some years where you dial it down and you work 30. Okay. The other thing that this new agent has done recently is he made a new hire. And when you make a new hire, your role changes. You put a totally different hat on. Okay. And you have to dedicate the proper time to train and onboard somebody, and your production is going to suffer. Okay. It's going to suffer in the name of more production soon. Okay. If you made the right hire and you train the person correctly, in 90 days, your agency is going to be producing more than you were before the hire happened, right? That's the whole point of making a hire. Okay. But you have to give them time. You have to give them your energy. You have to pass on your expertise to them. They can do what you hired them to do, which is put on more premium. Okay. But you're going to take a hit. Just know that. And it's okay. Okay. It's all right. If during that time you're taking a hit because you're spending time with your new hire and onboarding them and training them, and you want to work a couple more hours a day so that you can focus on your lead generating activity and you can focus on making sure that your premium doesn't slip, it's not a horrible idea. Okay. Because it's going to be temporary. Once that leash is lengthened on that new employee, you can kind of go back into your old schedule. It's okay. You don't have to work the same schedule every day forever and ever. Okay. Just be mindful that when you are putting your time in, that it's being spent properly and that you're being smart with it. You're either generating income, you're training up your team, or you're doing something that's going to help your current clients. Just make sure you're being mindful with your time. That's what I got for you today. My name is Matt. This is Agency Launch. You can find me all over the place. I'm on LinkedIn. Where am I? I'm on Threads now. And Instagram at Dietz Agency. And you can send me a text, 208-213-8809. And send me the word email. I'll give you this free resource so that you can copy and paste this awesome email that I wrote for renewals, which is paying massive dividends for my agency. And don't forget, if you want to get in and you want some coaching, look me up at agencylaunch.net. Let's get to work. Thank you for listening. Keep up the good work.